Hello everyone and welcome to this video. If you're watching this, you are either an umpire or scorekeeper and asked to keep score using live TT Scoreboard. For those of you who have never used live TT Scoreboard before, a quick summary is it is an application that provides a graphic overlay for table tennis live streams while providing an easy to use interface for umpires and scorekeepers to control what is showing on the live stream. In other words, while you're keeping score, that score is automatically shown on the live stream. It was created by Jack McCarthy and initially released in 2019. There have been several other versions released since then. So we do have a few requirements for scorekeeping. The first one being a smart device. This could be a phone, tablet, or PC that you would be using to keep score. Second thing you would need is network connectivity, either locally if it's that kind of version, or on the internet, depending on the version of Live TT Scoreboard that they're using. And the third one would be the scorekeeping URL that you would need to actually punch in the scores or update the scores. And this will be given to you by whoever's managing Live TT Scoreboard on the back end, which would typically be the tournament director or whoever's in charge of the live streaming. And this can be provided via text or email. And there's also an option to scan a QR code. They can give you any of these options. It is not recommended to manually type in the URL as it's very long and case sensitive, and one character that is incorrect could possibly cause the application not to work. If you are the very first person on a particular table created in Live TT Scoreboard, you will need to start a match. It'll look much like this screen on the right-hand side. And if you see this screen, go ahead and just pick the number of games and hit Create Match. The next thing to do would be to complete the new match wizard or the setup wizard here that's showing on this screen. And then as the game is going on, you just add or subtract points based off of the game. And once the game's finished, you'll just repeat that. And at the very end of the match, you can start a new match so that the next person to keep score on this table will have the same match wizard for them to set up the next match. All right, so let's go through the match setup wizard. So the very first page is going to be the welcome page, and that's what we see here. You can select a scheduled match, which would be a pre-configured match ahead of time, mostly by the director or whoever's in charge of the streams. They should let you know whether or not you will be working with scheduled matches or not. If you are not using a scheduled match, you can go ahead and just hit next, and that'll take us to the next page where we can configure some of the main fields. And these main fields are pretty basic for table tennis, mostly just is it singles or doubles? What is the max number of games played, or the best 3 out of 5, best 4 out of 7, and then the match round, which if you're playing in a tournament, or select any of the options that are available. And then the next page would be the player names and profiles. So there's two different ways to enter names into Live TT Scoreboard. Either a manual entry. So what we would do first is click on player A. And then we have the option to enter manually or import player. If we hit enter manually, we'll be given a screen to put in the first name, last name, and then choose the color of the player's jersey. Or we could import a player separately. Once you have inputted both players' names, you'll be able to hit next. You'll notice the background for the player on that particular side has changed to the jersey color that you selected. Once you hit next, you'll go to our next page, which will be service and warm up. This gives you the option to click who will be serving first, and it also gives you an option to show a 2-minute timer. So this can be used for their 2-minute warm-up, and once it has run to 0, then it will be time to start the game. Select the server, and then you can hit next and start game. Once the match has been started, we have several options at the top of the screen. We're going to go through some of these. So the very first one is going to be managing timeouts. So if a player needs to take a timeout, we can click this and we can start the timeout for that specific player. In this case, we hit timeout for player A. We confirm that they would like to take their timeout, and then they are given a 60-second timer that will eventually run out, or you can end the timeout early by clicking End Timeout. And after using their timeout, the timeout button is now grayed out. It says timeout used. If you mistakenly hit timeout for the wrong player, you can reset the timeout access so that they can use it again. The next icon that we have at the top are the penalty flags, and these would be a yellow or red card that can be assigned to the player. So we will click on the deck of cards icon, and if a player has received a yellow or red card, you simply click on that button and it will illuminate the color showing it active. The next item that we have here is managing service. Let's say you accidentally hit the wrong player to serve first in the original setup wizard. You can go here to the paddle and ball icon, and this will allow you to switch which player initially served for the match. The other one here is your service mode. This could be used in particularly for expedited mode, which LiveTT's scoreboard technically does not support at this moment. What you can do is you can hit manual. So we'll do the manual service mode, and then we'll close out. And then we have two buttons here now that will allow us to manually switch the server. The next button we have at the top is for switching sides, and this is basically used for your view as the scorekeeper or the umpire. When you are keeping score, you would like that player to be on their respective side. So in this case, let's say player B was on the left side and player A was on the right. I can simply hit the switch button so that player B would be on that side now. And therefore, if someone on the left-hand side scores, we can hit the plus button for that player. The next feature that we have is going to be the highlight / exceptional point recorder. This is a very small feature, but can be extremely helpful for those who are going back into your video and editing highlight videos. So let's say that there is a extremely exceptional point in a match, and it should definitely be shown on social media or the like, and you definitely want this point recorded. This will record the game number that they're playing in and the score, so video editors later can go back easily and find all those points. And for our last button here, we have a kind of a advanced settings. We have the ability to change the number of games played. Our second setting here flips the courtside scoreboard. So this is only used if there is a courtside scoreboard present, and it switches the sides of the player on the scoreboard, but not the scorekeeper's view. And then we have the ability to manually finish a game. And then lastly, we have the ability to edit finished game scores. So let's go ahead and have someone win 11-0. And we will confirm that this player won. We finish the game. We'll start game number 2. And then we can go back to our settings here, and we will see that player B won 11-0, and we can even change the score. Let's say that player A actually scored 8 points. We can save that, and that would be the new saved score for game 1. And that is it for this tutorial. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions, please email me at jack@livettscoreboard.com. You can also follow Live TT Scoreboard on YouTube and Facebook for more content. I hope this video has been helpful and look forward to seeing all of your streams.